Okay, I admit it. It was me. Give it back.
Well, you want your $100. I'm sorry. It's
Okay.
Well, let's transition out of talking about the convention and ghost money and talk about any questions you guys have for me. This will eventually dribble into the acting portion. Are you recording me? Hi. I am saying nothing that I shouldn't say. Do you guys have anime questions? Any anime-related questions? Then we'll dribble into acting questions, and then we may even get up and do some acting exercises. We'll see. Sweet.
What kind of anime-related questions are you capable of?
All of them. Next question. Yeah.
What is a role that you auditioned for? Like one of your best roles that you auditioned for that you didn't get that you really wanted to have?
I'll say this. I was out of town when auditions for Attack on Titan happened. So I didn't get to audition for Attack on Titan. I was living in Austin at the time. And then come to find out, that's an amazing show. I didn't know how cool it was going to be. Otherwise, I might have moved back. So I ended up being Petra's father in it, which was cool. It was cool. I had a couple of lines. At least I'm in it. At least my credits say Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I saw
Maybe
that.
there'll be another season with a different character.
Yeah, there's rumors that there's been a season 2 coming soon, but it's been like
Did
a year.
anyone see the live action?
No, I was waiting for the dub.
You saw the live action? Was it good?
It's different, and you have to go in accepting it's different.
That it's not the anime.
But I did hear that now that the live action's done, they're putting all their focus on the second season.
All right. That's good.
So
No spoilers.
So are you going in to apply for a second season, or?
We'll see if they have auditions.
They got new characters coming up.
Beg to audition for sure.
And if there's new characters coming up.
Are there new characters?
I'm not sure, but if there is,
There usually are.
yeah. So
I can be a good bad guy. I'm usually a good bad guy. A good guy.
I really would like them to answer the question about the key thing.
I don't know anything. The
key thing.
I
Don't
think
spoil it for me.
Oh, you haven't watched it? Okay, I'm sorry.
I've watched maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay, I won't say any more.
I keep waiting to have time to binge it. I just don't have time. Are you hot or about to cry?
I am this so hot.
You were so hot because you're dressed in hot clothes.
And because I'm sexy.
And because you're what?
I think she said she was sexy.
That's what I thought you said, and I was like, that is awesome. And because I'm sexy.
I could be dressed in nothing and I would still be hot in this.
Listen, Stephen, let's not test that theory. At least not in the middle of the panel. And all of a sudden, well, okay. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I don't know if you're aware about the Code Geass being put back into print for Funimation for the DVDs and Blu-rays. But the OVAs, they haven't been officially dubbed, so I don't know if there's any news about the Code Geass OVAs.
Code Geass OVAs. I can tell you with absolute certainty, I know nothing about that.
You know nothing about it? Okay.
I don't. There's no equivocation on that point. I am telling you everything I know about the Code Geass OVAs. I'm in Code Geass, aren't I?
Were you because they're using it was the English dub was through Bandai.
Was it?
Yeah, it was through Bandai. They went bankrupt, and then Funimation picked it up in 2013, and then they waited until now to basically bring it into Blu-ray. And it's coming out in October or whatever, but they also licensed the OVAs, but they haven't announced it yet. They only, which there's new characters in it, so
Are you taking him away? Oh, you're sliding him up.
So that's what I'm curious about now is what do they, because they have a couple of the old characters that were the voices for the original English dub, which they're recycling for the, for their thing. They're not redubbing it for Funimation. So it's really weird because there's 4 characters that are from the original dub that are going to be in this OVA, which is in between season 1 and season 2. And then all the other characters are new. So I'm wondering how Funimation would handle that, dub, because it's you got a couple of returning characters and then you got a bunch of new characters in this. And it's in between the seasons.
I am recording D. Gray Man. They did announce that we're recording the new D. Gray Man. Any D. Gray Man fans out here? One.
Yeah.
My lady.
I've never heard of that.
It's a good one. People compare it to Full Metal Alchemist. They do. But we didn't finish recording the first season of it, which we're finishing recording, and then doing the new. So there's several hundred episodes I'll have to do.
So you go back and forth between cons while recording stuff? Is that how you do it?
Really?
I've been gone for a while. It's time for me to go home. I've been gone for almost 2 weeks, doing film work and conventions. And then next weekend I have a 1-day con in Minneapolis. I fly up on Saturday, fly home on Sunday.
Oh, dang.
That could be fun.
Yeah, it's like at least I get to see all the fans, but then I don't miss out on seeing my kids for the weekend.
So do they pay you pretty well for this?
I get $11. I'm kidding.
Full money.
Full money.
Yeah, the interesting thing is we do not, for Funimation, we do not get paid a lot as actors. Funimation, we're coming up on our 20th anniversary of our pay rate.
Wow.
That is not a thing you want to have in
No.
your life.
No, it's
Like,
not.
we've been being paid the same for 20 years.
Really? Everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Pretty close.
Yeah, so it's they don't pay us a lot, but luckily Funimation gets to be subsidized by conventions and fans. So you guys are the ones who keep the Funimation actors from having to like get second and third jobs. Come out and hang with you guys. So you're really my boss. Funimation isn't my boss. The fans are my boss. Yeah, I mean, we all have tons of other acting work, job wise. We don't, but Vic doesn't work at a Starbucks. Although that'd be awesome. Would you like to try a triple mocha latte? That's my best thing. Is it pretty? He's got such a pure, clean voice.
Except for when he's Broly.
I just sound like this. Hi, my name's Vic Mignogna.
That sounded like Dr. Girl.
Until he becomes Broly.
And then Broly has to hurt himself.
Oh.
Is that his Broly? Is that what he's like?
He couldn't do it for me yesterday.
I'm the worst at imitations. I can do anybody. I'll attempt an imitation of anybody. You want to hear my Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh yes, yes.
There you go.
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's a good Louis Armstrong.
Do you want to hear my Louis Armstrong?
Hello, I'm Louis Armstrong.
Do you want to hear my Princess Leia?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this one I actually can do.
Hello, I'm Princess Leia.
I also do C-3PO. You want to hear my C-3PO?
Hello, I'm C-3PO.
It's the dumbest joke. I do it all the time. It's the stupidest joke. I can do anyone. You want to hear my Irish accent? I can do dialects. I'm really good at dialects. You want to hear my Irish dialect?
I have Irish dialect.
I swear I could do that all day long. It's the dumbest joke there is, but it always makes people laugh. I'm not sure why. Because it's just so foolish. I could do Cookie Monster.
I guess they're all pretty much in the same range, aren't they?
I do one imitation of
I actually
everybody.
worked for like a homeless cookie monster.
A homeless Cookie Monster?
Like after they fired the original.
Oh God, I got all, look, I'm tangled up in. What happened there?
I am homeless Cookie Monster.
Well, you know why they fired Cookie Monster, right?
Because it wasn't healthy.
Wait, I thought they rehired him again.
I
No.
think they rehired him.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't hire him because he would. I thought he heard the rumor was that he wouldn't sing. They wouldn't let him sing "See It's for Cookie." They changed his song.
No, they
for fruit. It's good
No.
enough for me.
Right.
no. What I heard was they fired him was because they wanted everyone to be healthy. So
Yeah,
that's why
they
they had
gave
the
him a song
veggie
called
monster
See-
for a while.
Yeah, they have a
And they got
veggie
rid of-
monster, and then they had a song called "See It's for Calories," and he talked about losing weight. And they fired Cookie Monster because he wouldn't.
Yeah, but then they brought him back because people
Veggie
were
Monster
pissed.
left because all the parents got mad at Veggie Monster.
the 90s.
No, this was late 70s and 80s. Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster was always Cookie Monster.
Yes.
But I'm real mad that they weren't going to change up his.
Well, they They made it his
At least it
favorite
wasn't
vegetable.
Crystal Meth Monster.
I am Crystal Meth Monster.
Dude, that's Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch is Crystal Meth Monster.
Yeah.
I can't believe I made a crystal meth joke on a Sunday morning in reference to Sesame Street. That was the wrong
That's why
thing
he's
to
got
do.
me.
That is silly. Oh, okay. Let's go. More anime questions. Anyone else? Anyone? Anime, acting, any questions? Yes.
How did you get involved in voice?
My story of getting involved in voice acting is pretty simple. I started out as an actor in Chicago, and then moved to Fort Worth, Texas, and then started a theater company. And I was in rehearsals at my theater company, and my buddy Brad Jackson, who plays Oolong, came in to rehearsals, and he was like, "Hey, you should go audition for this Dragon Balls thing." And I was like, "Dragon Balls? That sounds like porn." And he was like, "No, it's Japanese anime." And I was like, "Okay, it's definitely porn." And he was like, "No, it's cool. Call this guy named Chris Sabat. And here's his number." And so I picked up the phone, and I was like, beep, 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 beep. And like rings it. And I was like, yeah, it was that long ago. I picked up the phone, and I was like,
The phone's still down there. You
I picked up the receiver. Oh, that's right. That's how it works. I remember now.
I actually.
And I called him, and he
Hello, this is Chris. Hey, this is Chris.
and I was like, hey, my buddy said I should audition for Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, it's not Dragon Balls. It's Dragon Ball Z. It's a common mistake people make. Yeah, how about you want to audition? How about tomorrow or today? Today at 5, like tomorrow around 5. Is tomorrow good? Around 5? Let me get a pencil.
And it's like, this is a weird audition process. And he came back and he was like,
Yeah, why don't you come in around 5 tomorrow? It'd be great.
and I was like, okay. And he goes, click. I was like, I wonder where I'm supposed to go. And then 10 seconds later, the phone rang. And it's,
Oh hey, sorry, it's Chris. I forgot to tell you where to go. You know the off of 820, there's a bank, by Roof Snow. You know the roof. If you exit Roof Snow going west on 820, you can you cut through the Shell parking. There's a Shell gas station. You cut through, and you can get to the. It's quicker because that way I don't have to tell you the street names. Because honestly, I don't know the street names. But you'll see it if you exit Roof Snow. There's a Shell. You cut through the Shell. And then come to it's the bank, it's the U.S. Nations Bank. You see the sign on top of it. Yeah, that's where we're at.
and I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever.
Did you find the place?
I did. I found the place. I got there, and I was like, do I have to open an account to audition? And the people at the bank were like, I think you want Funimation. That's next door.
Wait,
So I went. and I
wait,
was-
you're next to a bank?
It was in the bank building. They had offices. I didn't realize banks could own buildings and then rent office space to other people.
Oh,
That's how young
really?
that was back then. I
Dang.
didn't know how office buildings worked.
Did they have the mic right in the office of that bank?
No, it wasn't at the bank. They had separate rooms. But you walked into the studio through the boxes of VHS tapes. You walked through the VHS tapes, through a hallway of boxes to get to the studio. And the studio had the crappiest table you've ever seen in your life, and then blankets hung on the wall, and then somebody's the floor of the studio had a blanket on it, and they had a music stand in there with a T-shirt wrapped around it with clothespins to keep the noise, because you want to keep noise down in the studio. All this stuff works, but it's what you do when you don't have any money. And I was like, this is not a real company. Because I was used to working in Chicago in high-end commercial studios, and so I was like, this is never going to be anything. And actually, on the way to the audition, I got a flat tire, and I was like, and I'm changing the flat tire, and I almost skipped it. I almost skipped the audition. Then you hear that, it's like changing the tire on the side of the road. I'm like, this is a stupid audition. I'm not going to go. And you hear that voice, Chuck, go to the audition. And I'm like, what's that? Chuck, you need to. It was Vic's voice calling to me. It was like, Chuck, go to the audition, or you'll never be Dr. McCoy. And Star Trek continues. And I was like, okay. person with angelic voice. And then I went to the audition, and my whole life. That's how I got into it. And I wasn't even sure I wasn't even sure I was gonna get paid. When I did it, I was like, okay, I hope I get paid. And then the check came, and I deposited it, and I was like, hope that doesn't bounce. And then it cashed, and I was like, okay, this is a cool gig.
At least you're not a comedian. We get paid less than voice actors.
Comedians?
Yeah.
Do you do stand-up? I mean, chair on stage?
Sit down. Comedy.
Sit down?
Sit down comedy.
You can keep what? That one's free. You can keep that one.
I tried. At least if you do cartoon voices, nobody throws cartoon vegetables at you.
Do people really throw vegetables anymore?
Yes,
at the
they
theater?
do.
They should.
They do.
They should.
I haven't seen them.
They
They
do.
should pass
But
out tomatoes.
I
They should
was-
let-
They throw vegetables in plastic bottles.
They
I
should,
was-
I
they
got
should
hit
let
by
the
a-
actors know before they go on stage. Look, I don't think you've been acting well enough, so we're passing out tomatoes to the audience. Okay?
I
They
was
plastic
fat,
out plastic bottles.
So I didn't care. I just caught them in my mouth.
I got hit by a
I
couple
like
plastic bottles
bags.
trying to keep him off the stage.
Oh my
They even
God.
throw
Can
plastic
I
bottles
have
at
another
us.
one?
Your life is a giant adventure, you two. Any other questions? You guys got more questions? Yes, my lady.
Yeah, so how would you tell someone how to get into
$1 million.
Because
No,
I've seen a lot of voice actors got into it because they started acting first.
That's true. You have to start as an actor. That is the best place to start. I'll tell you, there's like 4 different ways to get into voice acting. If you want to specifically do Funimation voice acting in anime, step 1 would be to move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Like, you have to live in Dallas-Fort Worth. If you want to do other anime voice acting, the only other place to move is LA. And DFW is way cheaper than LA and way easier to live in if you're just starting out. So it's a good starter acting city. There's a lot of theater. There's a lot of independent and student films. There's feature films. There's television shows. So there's a lot of work, and there's commercials and industrials. I recommend Dallas and Chicago as really great places to start as an actor. Chicago is another fairly easy, although it's harder now. It's a little more expensive now. But Chicago compared to New York or LA is still less expensive. But if you're an actor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I would immediately, if you wanted to be a voice actor, I would take either Chris Rager's voice acting workshop, which runs out of Okatron 5000, or Sonny Straight's voice acting workshop. Sonny's workshop's like 6 weeks, 1 hour a night for 6 weeks straight, and you end up with a voice demo at the end of it. I haven't talked to Chris about his workshop, but I'm sure it's similar since Sonny's the one who told. This is how cool Sonny Strait is. Chris Rager's a single dad, and he has a job. He had a job and was like, single dad, and he's got a job, and Sonny's like, you should just do a workshop like I'm doing. And so Sonny told him exactly everything to do and how to do the workshop. And so Chris Rager's now doing, like Sonny just said, do the thing I'm doing and maybe take some of my customers. But Sonny didn't care. So Chris Rager ended up being able to quit his job and just do voice acting workshops. So, but they're not in the same. Sonny's all the way up in Denton. Chris is all the way over in Plano. So they're not really tapping the same. But I would take either of their workshops. If you can't move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you still want to be a voice actor, you can start being a voice actor like immediately. You take out your phone and you record your foot like this. Let's see. Hold on. Hello, I am Mr. Foot. Okay, let's see how that turns out. Oh wait, sound. Put it on YouTube. 1 billion hits later, you can just roll around in money. It's the most famous voice actor ever.
Speaking of YouTube, Jello Pasta says hello.
Oh, hello. Back again. If you want to be a voice actor, I would recommend finding an artist who wants to be a comic book artist or someone who's already got a comic and say, hey, I can do voices for your comic, and I have a couple of friends and we can do voices for it too. Let's turn it into a motion comic and put it on the YouTubes. And you make yourself a voice actor that way. The most important thing would be to find something that you would do forever, some story, or, we got Nostalgia Critic here, an angry video game nerd, and, a lot of people who do their YouTube thing. And the way you break into that is by doing something you would do for free forever. And if you're like, I would wake up every day and do this just because I love it, because I think it's awesome, that you've struck gold. You get to do that for the rest of your life. You set up your YouTube account with your Google AdSense, and that allows you to make money off the ad revenue from your YouTube. But you start now, and if it's something you truly love that much, like you're like, the only thing I love is to make sandwiches and talk about how to make the sandwiches, and you become Sandwich Lady on the YouTube, and you just videotape your hands making. This is a really good idea, actually. So, like, you videotape all yourself just making sandwiches and how you do different sandwiches, and you have the sandwich of the week, and you do one sandwich recipe a week, and because the person who makes the most money on YouTube is the Disney lady who opens Disney toys, and she just
that foreign person.
The princess has a crown, and the crown fits well onto the little princess, and it's just her hands, and she just talks real sweet. She makes $14 million a year because she loves those toys, and kids love watching them. So if you find something you love and you want to share it with the world, you can do that, and you can have that be your job forever. It's not going to happen overnight. It almost never does. I'm still thinking. I have tons of YouTube ideas, but I can't think of anything that has made me like, oh, I know, I will get up and do that. I have stuff I like doing. I'm not sure I'm a YouTube type guy. I think I'm more of a. I'm older. I think I'm more of a feature film type guy or film product type person. Yes.
Well, have you seen any of the Rooster Teeth stuff?
Oh yeah.
Their theater mode thing. I'm trying to think of hitting them up. They might, because I know Michael did stuff for Funimation too.
What's their theater mode?
Theater mode is where they take really, really bad movies, and it's usually 3 or 4 of them sitting watching the movie. They get the rights to record
Some
it,
bad
play
movie,
it,
right.
and do all that stuff, and then they just make comments.
Dragonball.
So it's just
It's
Mystery
basically-
Science Theater 3000.
It's a lot like that. That was the basis for it, and some of them like Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving killer. It's really stupid. It's funny to watch them do it, and I know they brought in other people. Like they've even brought in directors from the films, and like I know because that's all in the Texas.
Do you want to know what's funny? Because like Funimation is not Rooster Teeth, and they should be. Like we all at Funimation, like forever, have been saying we need to get the rights to a really bad anime and dub it however we want to.
You should do
Make
like
it
Power
hilarious.
Rangers.
Like Ghost. Was it Ghost Stories?
Good story.
Yeah, like that was Sentai. Sentai Filmworks has a little bit more facility than Funimation. But like the Rooster Teeth thing of dubbing or talking about movies, you guys love the DVD commentaries, right?
Sure.
Like, why does Funimation not do a
English dubs.
As soon as a dub comes out, they also launch a dub commentary.
They should do English dubs for it.
Why don't they do commentaries?
They should. Same with the theme songs.
I noticed they don't do
The Dead
commentaries.
Zone
It's with the theme songs
commentary
too.
was better than the movie.
It's
The Dead Zone commentary was pretty good. I have to go back and listen to those sometimes.
it's the same thing with the theme songs too. They never translate them in English anymore. You never can really
That's
understand what they
because
say.
they're awful.
But it's not that. It's they don't want people translating them because then they find out about backwards messaging and stuff like that. They write
Well-
into the songs.
Well, no, if you write, because if you just translate it word for word, then it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like you're not doing anything different.
I think it's just we want
And-
to focus on the show, translating the show, or maybe
Yeah,
be
but the
a
theme-
translator by the hour or something.
But the theme song is the most important thing that's supposed to get you driven into the show. And when you don't understand what they're saying, it gets very hard, especially for me that doesn't read subtitles because it's too hard for me to read that fast.
I thought maybe it was because
I
they
just
pay their
can't
translator by the hour, or the fact that sometimes the theme songs tell what's going on in the show.
No, it's really the reason why. This is just me. That why they don't do it is just that they just don't want to do it. I think that's just.
I think they don't know. I think they don't understand their fan base. I think if Funimation understood their fan base, they would behave more like Rooster Teeth or Screw Attack. You know what I mean? There's so much Funimation could be doing web content wise with their voice actors. Can you imagine? It'd be amazing.
Maybe you should start a division, Funimation's website development.
I keep asking to people from their marketing group or whatever, like, you do this thing. And it's like,
Why would
no,
a marketing
I
director
should-
do it?
I
let me
should,
do it.
I should be marketing.
Let him do
Any
his
more
marketing.
questions? More questions? Yes, your ladyship.
It's kind of random.
All right, I like random.
I was wondering how you feel about anime music videos.
Anime what?
Music videos.
AMVs? They're awesome. Did you guys see me zip up my pants right there? My fly was down the whole time.
I was trying to make you feel better.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yes.
Like, it was down the whole time. And then I stood up and I was like, that's my fly down.
Cyber
relaxed you are.
interface for showing.
I'll tell you this. There was a day that would have really bothered me. And now I'm like, that's funny as crap. Yeah, I can't wait to tell Jessica. I did the whole first half of the panel with my fly down. Just thought I'd let you know, sweetie, that your husband's a dork. So AMVs, the anime music videos, I love those. Some of them are incredible. So, like the editing work they do. I love it when people are able to really, like, some people try to do it and they just kind of add in terms of their computer skills is ridiculous. Like my son is a 5th grader and he was 3D animating on Blender. And I was like, because a lot of it you get to do, this is probably the power of the internet. He would literally get to a point where he was stuck and then just on YouTube Google the part he was stuck at. And a video tutor, somebody got stuck at that point before and they videotape themselves and say, this is how you fix that. And then they fix it. But AMVs are cool. It's also a good skill builder in terms of editing and storytelling. This giant fly is terrifying.
Maybe it likes you. It's not bothering anybody over here.
It's one of the Dr. Chiro's flies.
Yeah.
Can't see.
Hey, Dr. Shiro. I'm Android 17. More questions? Any? Yes.
So, with the increase in Twitch streaming of doing video games, a lot of that's is similar to voice actor work. Do you think in the next 5 years, just because Twitch streaming of video games has kind of expanded, that there's going to be a lot more people going into possibly voice acting after they kind of gather a following by just playing video games and kind of doing that narration piece over it?
Yeah. That is the explosion of content because, you think about when I grew up, video games didn't have voices. They had sound. Although I want to do a video game. Would you guys think it was, I want to do classic arcade games voiced by famous voice actors. So you'd have Pac-Man and I'd get Chris Sabat to be Pac-Man and he'd be like, waka 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 waka. And then the ghost or Pac-Man dying would be Vic Mignogna. He'd be like, right? We get Monica Rial as some other noise in the game. I think that'd be fun. But yeah, the explosion in content has meant an explosion in actors.
You should be the actual voice of the ghost.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. I think I'm gonna do this. I just have to get with. It's one of those things. I'm like, I should do that, and then I'm like, eh. Somebody else should do it. Like, I was on the film set recently, and somebody said, was trying to say Deepak Chopra's name, and they said Tupac. And I was like, Tupac Chopra. That is a great skit. I don't know, these West Side meditation people are not like the homies I know. Right? Tupac Chopra. Have a whole East-West meditation feud going on. Rolling down the street in my 6'4". So, but I decided I couldn't do it. It would have to be a South Asian or someone of color would have to do it. It would not be right for me to do it. Although it's fine for me to do in panels.
And you probably want to do that in the studio, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, or animated. I could do it animated. Rolling down the street in my 6'4".
You gotta do that now. We're gonna
How do you know the ding-dong is first up to bat? The battery is included and no strings attached. It's horrible. I do not think Puff Daddy knows how to meditate. His asana is totally whack.
California love.
Yeah.
Get that whole... Dr. Dre does not know anything about yoga. It's terrible.
I think I'm wearing a catheter.
Hey, watch it.
Oh, Steven. We actually ran out of time, and people keep circling in the back, wondering when I'm going to leave. I think there might be another panel in here after me. But I'm supposed to... it was more of an entertainment, and we did talk a little bit about acting. Does anyone have any other acting questions? So I can make sure all your acting questions are asked. Steven?
How do you throw your voice? Like, how do you make your voice more silly?
How do you make your voice more silly?
Yeah.
I usually change my voice by physically changing my face and my body. So when I am Kibito, I have to be very big. I got the voice of Emperor Pilaf by doing a bad imitation of Edith Bunker from All in the Family. Oh, Archie! Oh, I'm Emperor Pilaf. Oh, yeah. So Emperor Pilaf is really a 60-year-old woman from Queens. So that's how I got the voice. Sometimes your bad imitations become really good original characters. So it's like people are always like, can you do Yoda? And I'm like, no, but I do his brother-in-law, Billy Yoda. I am Billy Yoda. I know have force. I only throw things. Right? So,
You should do like a lazy Yoda.
Lazy Yoda?
Who just wants to like eat chips, use the force to like get like cookies, do everything that a lazy man would do with his mind.
Like pudding potato chips.
Any other questions? Otherwise, I got to wrap it up and go sign at
Sign.
the table for a little
Yes.
bit. And then, so let's go meet over at my table. Oh, yeah, quick question.
How did you do your Kulu voice from Star Trek?
That starts by, like, when you want to raise and pitch and change where the focus of your voice is going to go. Like, Kulu starts by narrowing and tightening up in the back. I can feel like all the muscles in my mouth are pushing everything forward and up into my nose. Oh, I'm going to shrink you with my shrink ray.
As opposed to Kibito, which comes out here.
So it's all about, because your voice the sound is made here, but you get to direct it at different parts of your speaker box, essentially. Because your head is like a giant box. That's why we sound so different on a recording than we do to ourselves, because we only hear ourselves inside our head. And we sound sexy inside our head. And then you hear it on a recording and you're like, we sound sexy inside our head. And you're like, oh, is that me? I sound horrible.
That's my problem of this.
You have an amazing voice, Steven. Your voice goes through all these pitch changes that are amazing and
I think
ridiculous.
Not on an answer machine. I get so nervous.
He can't leave messages for anything.
You can't leave a message, you get stage fright?
Yeah.
I do too sometimes. We all get scared. Oh, let me leave you with that. here's the thing, like acting, getting up in front of a group of people, talking, that causes anxiety. That makes you scared. And a lot of times we are forced at a very early age to learn how to be in front of a group of people. You're like, go ahead, Billy, give us your book report on Cinderella. And Billy's like, why do I feel like fainting? Because he's terrified and he's in first grade. And like, we don't tell people this is a terrifying thing you're about to do. We just expect people to do it. And then what happens a lot of times is we get solidified with that first impression that we had of ourselves in front of a group of people. And we never get ourselves out of that. A lot of times that first time you get up in front of a group of people sets the tone for the rest of your life.
Is that what they always tell them when you get up in front of people? You're supposed to imagine like everybody without clothes or something?
No, don't imagine them without clothes. But just remember that what you're doing is a scary thing. We're leaving. Sorry, are you in here next? Sorry.